Hello again. For this section of Grey Doors' On Your Mark seminar, I am joined by our Director of Account Management, Ian Carrington, to discuss the launch of Passkey, our enhanced toolkit for helping businesses and travellers navigate within the border changes post-COVID-19 and Brexit. Ian, welcome.
Hi, man. Thanks for letting me join you.
What can you tell us to introduce Passkey?
Yeah, Passkey is a new product that we're launching, which is really in response to lots of client demand and questions that we've heard over the last 6 months, really, relating to Brexit. And Passkey aims to bring together all of those questions relating to which countries you can travel to, what the terms and conditions and requirements are, and what documentation you need in order to be able to travel on business to destinations and countries throughout Europe. Alongside obviously all the usual destination support information which we can provide when you're traveling overseas to longer haul destinations too.
Okay, so I know visa applications have always been required outside of the EU, but what impact has Brexit had on business travel within the EU borders?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, Aman, and really this is why we've brought about Passkey. Obviously, the UK left the EU countries, the EU member states, from the 1st of January 2021. And really, as a result of COVID, obviously the level of travel is significantly reduced. And perhaps some of the countries' focus on immigration has been around COVID rather than the impact of Brexit and the UK leaving the EU. What we're building is that opportunity to actually understand what is it that travellers need to know, where do they find that information. So there's some very basic points which I think are covered for whether you're travelling really on touristic reasons or even for business, and those key things that have been introduced are around the fact that you cannot travel into EU countries from the UK for more than 90 days within a 180-day period, and obviously that would also incorporate any leisure trips when those reopen. That would prevent you from coming in. So it is 90 days within 180 days. Also, your passport needs to be is relevant for being valid for 10 years from issue date. So if you have a passport that has a expiry date which is perhaps slightly later than that 10-year period, then it is 10 years from the issue date, and that's really, really important. And also the need to have 6 months left of validity on your passport when you travel. You'll also find that EU immigration, depending on the country and depending on the point of entry, may also start to ask questions now around a copy of your itinerary that you've booked, hopefully with Grey Doors, and the full details of what that itinerary incorporates, but also making sure that you're fully insured. So to have health details, so that may be asked to be presented, and then in some instances we'll also ask for a statement of employment signed by the employer, which we can assist you with, and very much Passkey is part of that product and that workflow to assist you with that. So those are the initial outlines which are relevant really for anybody. But what Passkey then does is said, well, okay, I understand what the basic requirements are for getting into an EU country, but what happens if I'm traveling on business? What can I do when I travel into an EU country, and what are the things that I can't do? So what we've done is we've integrated within the product a simple 3 to 5 minute questionnaire which says who you are, dates of entry, but also the kind of activities that you're going to take and complete in that destination country. And then based on the answers to those particular questions, we'll then give you an initial sort of green light that you're okay to travel, and we'll also provide you with a statement of employment letter, as I just sort of referred to a moment ago. So that is then generated from the system. But if there are some queries as to perhaps some further information or some further investigation required, then what happens is you then get the opportunity to set up a consultation with our visa partners, CIBT. And what they will do is then have an initial consultation to talk through your plans of the kind of work that you're going to complete when you go into an EU country. So it's about bringing all of those elements together into Passkey. It's about providing our travellers and our bookers with as much information in a world that has changed, which unfortunately due to COVID, a lot of people haven't been able to fully experience. So it's about bringing all of that information together as part of our Traveller Toolkit products that we've got. So you've got all of that information quickly and easily able to access.
Of course, with COVID, you're right. It's put a bit of a delay into the changes relating to Brexit and how we manoeuvre through that. I would have assumed all of this would be available on gov.uk.
Yeah, I think that gov.uk is a great resource, and we're actually shortly launching a new product into our toolkit, which actually incorporates the information from gov.uk to other pieces around the COVID part as well. So we use and utilise information from gov.uk all the time. However, obviously that is purely focused on UK nationals. So we know that from feedback, a lot of our travellers are not necessarily UK nationals, so could hold all wide variety of different nationalities. So Passkey incorporates that and allows you to bring in that information. And also gov.uk is very much focused on the British UK traveller travelling into the UK or what kind of things they can do, not necessarily the actual minutiae detail, which does change quite significantly, and unfortunately isn't actually consistent across the EU member states, because each EU member state is able to set some of their own rules and requirements around immigration. So sadly, you would like there to be a consistent approach across all the states, but sadly that is not the case. Hence the need for products like Passkey.
Okay. And what happens if I, as a traveller, do not have the correct visa and I travel into an EU port, say France, for example?
There's a very strong possibility that you'll be turned back, and not only turned back, but you would also be fined. And the fines are actually not necessarily just one fine for the incident, but also can be multiple fines based on the infringement. So it is important to get it right, and certainly airlines and various other operators, Eurostar and other operators into Europe are trying to get this information right at the time of making the booking. But it is very much the responsibility of the traveller to get it right. And I think it's really important and very clear to make sure that we're aware that the Grey Doors, we're here to support you. We want travellers to be travelling, and yes, the rules have changed and it's a little bit different. But as a general rule of thumb for basic business travellers going to a meeting, particularly an internal meeting, would still be able to travel as normally. But the moment really that you pick up a tool, or you complete any work which could have been undertaken by a local, or you provide experience or expertise or knowledge in a specialist skilled area, including training and potentially attending sort of trade fairs and seminars and exhibitions, that's really the conditions and the requirements for you to take a good look at Passkey, and to really talk to our staff at Grey Doors, who will be really keen and there to support and help you through.
Yeah, I'm sure, just like when it was 9/11, there was an initial fear about the complications around traveling, but as we get used to it, it will become the norm and we'll carry on. So it's great to have this product. How can clients access Passkey?
Really, one in two ways. So firstly, our experienced travel consultants are there to support and help by telephone and email. And maybe it's one of those things to actually talk to us about and speak to us about. So that's one point of entry and point of assistance, and they will guide you through that initial questionnaire and to be able to support you. But obviously, if it transpires from the questions the answers to the questions you provide, you need to go for sort of a longer consultation with our CIBT partners, then obviously they can arrange that for you as well. And then the second point of entry really is within our online booking tool. So the product is available within the tools section. And I know that when you go onto the online booking tool and you look to book travel outside of the UK at the moment, then there's a whole range of resources and information relating to both Brexit and COVID that are tailored together with Traveller Toolkit. there to support you. And really, as you've just sort of said, Aman, is yes, there's a lot of uncertainty, and probably some of that will take a little bit of time to sort of melt away and to be able to understand. And I'm sure that, you know, our closest trading partners, really important to get people out there when the time is right, when the government allows us to do so. And that's why we've got things like Passkey out there to support to do that.
And once you're on the portal, what can a client expect? What does it look like?
So probably the days of actually simply having tourist or business, there's a whole lot more options there now. And then also the date of travel. That will then start to take you through to more information around the assessment. So it would ask you why you're traveling, who's paying for the trip, you know, what kind of work, and specifically who you're working for, and all of that, those kind of questions. But there's about 10 questions. They're simple yes no answers initially. It's just sort of a triage, I suppose, a sort of experience. Obviously to identify date of travel, and it's important to sort of mention that some countries, we're told by CIBT, have sort of up to an 8-week window for obtaining a visa. So just sort of bear that in mind. And we are probably, over the last month, we have seen an increase in the number of people that are booking travel further out. So perhaps in the last year, it's been very much last minute, but we're starting to see people that are planning actually travel into the summer and into the autumn on the expectation of the change of the government traffic lights to be allowed to travel. In answer to your question, Aman, it's a very simple process, and it's designed to be that way. But it's continually being updated. All the information is provided to us by CIBT, who are ultimately the leaders, the market leaders globally on this kind of work.
So it's undoubtedly a very valuable product, Ian. How much will it cost our clients?
The cost of proceeding through the process is £30 plus VAT. So you can obviously arrange that through Grey Doors, and we'll process that and obviously invoice you, or however your travel is normally paid for, or you can pay for that directly to CIBT through their process as well. Yes, it's an additional cost, but I think that even just having that sort of initial letter, which is pre-populated and completed for you, but just having that peace of mind, because there's an awful lot for people to take into account, an awful lot of people to consider traveling post-COVID and during these COVID periods. So if we can make that visa and that immigration part as simple and take away that any concerns from people, then yes, it's an additional cost, but it's very much, from our perspective, money well spent.
Well, thank you very much, Ian, for the robust summary on Passkey. A great solution to help navigate travellers to operate within the complexities of a world living through and beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. And now back to Laura.